This is how I made this magical LED ball thing. My wife and I were having brunch and we saw these meteor lights, and I thought, as anyone would, eating chicken fried steak at 2 p.m. on a Saturday, wouldn't that look cool as a ball? Normally, this is where ideas like this die and I move on to what I think is more practical, but I've been feeling a little different lately, so I ordered the lights, catted up my idea, and printed it in translucent PLA. A few months ago, I took apart my large workbench to build a smaller one, which I haven't finished yet, so most of this takes place on the kitchen floor. While doing a test fit, I realized if one of the LEDs remains in the housing, I get this sweet glowing effect. So I modeled in a spacer that would also work to hold in the wired end of the LED tube to make sure everything stays in place. And once I knew it worked, I printed 31 more. Usually when I'm supporting flat faces, I prefer using rectangular supports versus organic, but also means slightly more removal time and slightly more debris. One cup lid and 30 more supports removed later, switching to a surface less likely to get jacked up by CA glue. I also printed a guide piece to make sure all the holes lined up to help with the gluing process. I opted to glue instead of reprint the entire thing because even with supports, I didn't think that it could stop those interior geometries from getting wonky. I finally got to put the LEDs into their new housing, and this is usually where I need to take a breath in my projects because I'm so close to finishing that I tend to rush to see the end result. And this would be a real crap place to break one of these tubes and have to wait like 5 days to get a new one. There's a decent amount of wire in between each tube, so I had to make sure when modeling to leave enough space in the interior of the sphere, and man, just made it. Then I dropped in the hardware and bolted it together, and ta-da! Shout out to my wife for always supporting my crazy ideas. I don't think either of us expected it to turn out this big or this cool. I'm glad we got the lights that came with the app so we could change the color and pattern for all occasions, and now we just gotta find a place to mount it, which we'll definitely make a video of in the next few days. Great job, everyone!